What's going on, guys? Jacob over here, coming to you with my second half predictions for the 2019 Green Bay Packers. If you remember before the season, I picked every single game for the Green Bay Packers in the 2019 NFL season. I had them finishing with a record of 11-5, including a 5-3 mark through the first 8 games of the season. And I thought that was pretty optimistic. Given the circumstances of the offseason, we signed a lot of new different guys. We hired a new head coach, entirely new offensive system, everything like that. I thought that was a pretty optimistic prediction, both through 8 games and through the entire season. So far, the Packers have exceeded my expectations and pretty much everybody's expectations by going 7-1 in the first 8 games of the season. And you've got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff for this 7-1 start for the Packers. Matt LaFleur has done an incredible job. Mike Pettin has done an incredible job. They have got these guys playing at the highest level I've seen them play at since maybe 2014. They look really, really good this season, and I really expect them to make a deep playoff run. But without further ado, let's get into the predictions part of the video here. So we'll start with tomorrow's game against the Chargers. I'm going to say this is a win. It might have the makings of a trap game, but, I have a feeling that the Packers are going to get up for this one. They are coming off of a rather exciting victory over the Chiefs, but, they're still playing against a Hall of Fame quarterback in Phillip Rivers, and I feel like that alone is going to get them hyped enough to play in this football game. And, of course, the Packers fans traveling to L.A. is going to be a huge factor as well. Los Angeles isn't going to have a big home field advantage at all. If not, they might even have to go to a silent count in this game. And they actually did have to do that back in 2011, I believe, when the Packers last played the Chargers on the road. They had to go to a silent count at Qualcomm Stadium because nobody on the Chargers offense could hear because the Packers fans were making so much noise on the road. So this is a significantly smaller stadium than Qualcomm. It's like a 30,000 seater. I don't remember the name of the stadium. It's some corporate crap, but I still expect the Packers to win this one. Chargers do have a stingy defense, and they have some playmakers on offense, but I still feel like the Packers are the better team, and like I said, I think they're going to get up through this one. So I'll pick the Packers to win this game. Then next week against the Panthers, I'll pick the Packers as well. Christian McCaffrey is awesome, but without a quarterback who is a credible threat to throw the football down the field, I just don't see them really having much success. And that doesn't mean that I think Kyle Allen is necessarily bad. He's done a pretty good job filling in for Cam Newton, but it's just, you got to have somebody at quarterback, and I don't see a guy like Kyle Allen coming in, taking his team to Lambeau Field and winning on the road. Of course, I could be wrong, and it could be the real trap game in this whatever, but I still feel like the Packers are going to win that one. So that pushes their record to 9-1 going into the bye. And then the week after that, they have a absolutely massive game against the 49ers, who could still be undefeated at that point. I don't know when the 49ers' bye is, but they could very well be 10-0 or 11-0 coming into this game. And that's just crazy. I mean, and the Packers will be 9-1. This is going to be like the game of the year. I'm already looking forward to it. It's so big, but unfortunately, I don't think the Packers are going to win. I do think they have a very, very good chance of staying in the game, making it competitive, and even winning the game. But on the road against an NFC West team with a really, really good pass rush and a really great defense, and Richard Sherman at quarterback. I just don't think the Packers are going to win it. And, I don't expect them to finish the season 15-1, so there's got to be at least one more loss in these games, and I think that loss is going to be at San Francisco if it's going to come anywhere. And that makes the most sense. Of course, football is a very confusing sport at times, but it makes the most sense for the Packers to lose that game, and it's going to be a really tough loss to take if they do lose it, but it's better knowing that, going in and expecting us to lose. Of course, I do think the Packers have a chance in every one of these games, a very, very legitimate chance as well, but I feel like the Packers are going to lose that game. It's on the road. It's in San Francisco, an NFC West team, really good defense, all the makings for a Packers loss, as hard as it is to say. But then the following week, they come back to the other side of the United States in New York to face the Giants. And if the Packers beat the 49ers, this could be a real trap, like a legitimate trap game, if they're able to beat the 49ers on the road. Because the Giants, they're not that good, but I could see them, being a team that pulls an upset or two along the way, and it makes me a little bit nervous seeing them on the schedule after a game as big as that. But I still think that the Packers are going to win this game, and especially if they come off a loss, they're definitely going to want to win it. And I know that the circumstances having to go all the way across the country to New York isn't ideal, but a rookie quarterback like Daniel Jones, the Packers defense, it makes a lot of sense that the Packers would be able to force a lot of pressure and create turnovers as well. So I'm going to pick the Packers to win that game, pushing the record to 10-2. The following week is against the Redskins at Lambeau Field, and I don't really know if I have to say much at all about this game. The Redskins will likely be starting a rookie quarterback, and the Redskins are absolutely awful, so I'm going to pick the Redskins. I'm going to pick the Packers, not the Redskins. I don't know why I said the Redskins. But, yeah, I think the Packers are going to win this game, unless something crazy happens, like Dwayne Haskins has, like, a magnificent RG3, like, 2012 game, But I don't really see that happening at all. I think the Packers are going to win it, and I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I will say I actually might be going to that game this year. I'm still deciding. I don't know yet. If I can if we can have the ticket prices come down just a little bit more, if the Redskins can lose a few more games to lower that value down, then I'm all in. So that might be a game that I go to, and I'll definitely be vlogging it if I do. So look out for that. Look out for an announcement for that. But the following week after that, after the Redskins game, I believe they're playing the Bears that week. And the Bears at Lambeau Field, they already beat them on the road. I think they're going to beat them this time around. I don't think the Bears are going to really improve that much offensively. And, defensively, they might be able to hold the Packers like 21 or 24 points. But are the Bears really going to score more than that on the road at Lambeau against our defense with Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback? I don't really think so. So Packers win that game, pushes the record to 12-2. Then they have a huge game the following week at Minnesota. Another huge game versus the Vikings. It could have NFC North implications. I think that the Vikings are probably going to lose 2 games between now and that game. So the Vikings will have, what will they be? They will be, they'd be 10-4 at that point. I don't think that they're going to be able to jump the Packers in this game in the NFC North standings if they do win. And I actually am picking the Vikings to win this game because historically the Packers on the road in Minnesota never seem to win. In the Metrodome, they never won, and in their new U.S. Bank Stadium, the Packers have literally never won. So I don't really see the Packers winning that game on the road. Hopefully, it doesn't matter too much in terms of NFC North standings, and the Packers can still hold on to the lead after this game if they do lose, which will, if in turn, bring a huge game at Detroit, especially if Detroit is fighting for a playoff spot as well, and the Packers could be playing for the division that week. If they win, then they'll win the division. But I'll have them going into that Lions game in Week 17 at 12-3. I do think they beat the Lions in that game. The Lions at Ford Field have always given us trouble, but I just feel like we're going to beat the Lions. We're going to beat the piss out of them. We're going to have all of it on the line, and I don't know if the Lions are going to have much on the line to play for. So I think the Packers finish the season 13-3. I don't know if they'll be the 2 or 3 seed yet. I just don't know. It could. I do think for sure that the Niners are going to have a first round bye. I could be wrong. The Niners could be, a joke or, a fraud or whatever. But I guess a safe bet would be to say that the Packers get the 3rd seed because the Saints look really, really good. But we look really good too. And, I know we have a lot of road games too coming up. But still, I don't know. It's gonna be a race right down to the wire. This NFC race is gonna be awesome. There's a lot of teams in the mix, and it's gonna be so fun. Man, I can't wait. And 13-3 for the Packers, something they haven't done since 2011 when they went 15-1. So this is the best Packers team we've had in quite a long time, guys. And if they can make it work, if they can get to the playoffs and get a first round bye or even home field advantage, and people have to come to play us at Lambeau, then it's going to be tough for opponents to beat us, I'll say that. Very tough. But Thanks for watching, everybody. Those are my official 2019 second half predictions for the Green Bay Packers. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. How do you think the Packers are going to do? I have them at 6-2 through the final 8 games of the season, putting them at a record of 13-3. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Go Pack, go.